Chapter 1. To be productive, you must be deliberate about the things you give your attention to. On any given day, most of our actions and decision-making are done on autopilot mode. This state of mind enables us to keep up with the demands of our life. In fact, as many as 40% of our actions are habits, which do not require conscious deliberation. For instance, we don't have to deliberate about buying ketchup, taking out the trash, or brushing our teeth. However, making some decisions on autopilot can be very detrimental. If we are not as deliberate as possible while making these decisions, we can find ourselves paying the price of our laxity even years later. How we manage our attention is one of those decisions. Attention is our most limited and constrained resource. In order to become more focused, productive, and creative, we must manage our attention as intentionally as we can. There are 4 categories of tasks that bid for our focus every day. Number 1, necessary work. This includes tasks that are unattractive, boring, frustrating, difficult, etc., yet productive. Team meetings and calls about your quarterly budget fall into this category. We usually have to force ourselves to do this type of work. Number 2, unnecessary work. Here we have tasks that are both unproductive and unattractive, like rearranging the papers on your desk or the files on your computer. Spending time on unnecessary work tasks keeps us busy, but such busyness is just an active form of laziness when it doesn't lead to actually accomplishing anything. Number 3, distracting work. This includes unproductive tasks that are attractive, watching random YouTube videos, chatting, scrolling through endless Facebook and Instagram feeds, and every other form of low-return distraction fall into this category. The better you become at managing your attention, the less time you'll spend on tasks in this category. Directing your attention toward the most important object of your choosing, and then sustaining that attention, is the most consequential decision we will make throughout the day. We are what we pay attention to. Chris Bailey. Number 4, purposeful work. These are the tasks we're put on earth to do, the tasks we're most engaged in as we do them, the tasks with which we make the largest impact. This category is unique to each person. Your purposeful tasks, for instance, might include spending time with your kids, working on a side hustle, or volunteering with a local charity. Every day, tasks from all 4 categories compete for our attention. A perfectly productive person would focus mainly on necessary and purposeful tasks. Chapter 2. Proper management of your attentional space helps you work and live intentionally throughout the day. Our attention is the most powerful tool we have to live a good life and get stuff done, but our ability to focus is very confined. There is a finite limit to how many things we can focus on at once. Attentional space is the amount of mental capacity we have available to focus on and process things in the moment. Our attentional space is what we're aware of at any given time. It is like a clipboard in our brain where we temporarily store information as it's being processed. When we decide to focus on something, that information occupies our short-term memory, and our attentional space ensures it's kept active so we can continue to work with it. Your attentional space holds everything that you're aware of. It's your entire conscious world. Given that this space is so small and can hold only a few things at once, it's vital we manage it properly. Not all tasks require that same amount of attentional space. Tasks take different amounts of attentional space depending on their complexity. There are 2 kinds of tasks in our life and work. Habits. Things we can do without much thought and require minimal attentional space. These include tasks like cutting your nails, doing the laundry, archiving emails you've already read, and grocery shopping. Complex tasks. Things that can be done well only with dedicated focus. Unlike habitual tasks, these tasks, such as reading a book, having a deep conversation, or preparing a progress report for our boss, occupy a larger amount of attentional space. Fitting the right amount and type of task into our attentional space is essential for productivity. The best way to avoid attention overload is to be more selective with what you permit into your attentional space. For instance, on the drive home, shut off the radio. This will enable you to process the day and also remember your intention to pick up bread. At home, pause or mute the TV so you don't try to continue processing the show and forget what you're going to the other room to do. Making small changes like these allows you to keep your attention on your intention. In effect, this lets you spend more time on what's important and meaningful in the moment. Did you know? The state of your attentional space determines the state of your life. When your attentional space is overwhelmed, you feel overwhelmed. When your attentional space is clear, you also feel clear. Chapter 3. Filling your attentional space with a single, productive task puts you in hyperfocus mode. Contrary to popular belief, the fewer things you pay attention to, the more productive you will turn out to be. When you focus on a single task or project so it fills your attentional space completely, you put your brain in its most productive mode, hyperfocus. The concept of hyperfocus can be summed up in a single tranquil sentence. Keep one important, complex object of attention in your awareness as you work. Chris Bailey. Hyperfocus is many things at once. It's deliberate, undistracted, and quick to refocus, and it leads us to become completely immersed in our work. It also makes us immensely happy. Filling up our attentional space with a single project keeps you from being stressed up and overwhelmed. Your attentional space doesn't get cramped, and your work doesn't feel nearly as chaotic. Being in hyperfocus mode means you're permitting fewer objects into your attentional space. Choosing which tasks to work on ahead of time lets you focus on what's actually important in the moment. This is even more vital in our knowledge work environments where not all tasks are created equal. In 1 hour of hyperfocus, you will accomplish more than in a whole day spent filling your attentional space with a series of unintentional concerns. The vital aspect of hyperfocus that you're only allowing one productive or meaningful task to consume your attentional space. This is not negotiable. Why? Because the most critical tasks, projects, and commitments benefit from every bit of extra attention. They're usually not habitual tasks, which by default don't often consume your full attentional space. Do not hyperfocus on habitual tasks. Save hyperfocus for your most complex tasks. Things that will actually benefit from your full attention, such as writing a report, mapping your team's budget, or having a meaningful conversation with your partner. So how do we enter hyperfocus mode? According to Chris Bailey, to hyperfocus, you must 1. Choose a productive or meaningful object of attention. 2. Eliminate as many external and internal distractions as you can. 3. Focus on that chosen object of attention. 4. Continually draw your focus back to that one object of attention. Setting an intention for what you plan to focus on is the most important step to hyperfocus. The more productive and meaningful the task, the more productive and meaningful your actions become. We'll take a closer look at this in the next chapter.